time, weather, and always class.
Breath control and bad decisions. It's our game. With Gen X and Salty J, we'll shout it loud. A celebration of life. Come join the crowd. Hey, Salty J, can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, good. I thought I was gonna have to, use the tin cans on the string. That's what this episode's about. From tin cans to typing bubbles, how we learn to communicate like absolute lunatics. Welcome to Breath Control and Bad Decisions. I am Gen X, and this is my co-host.
Hey, Salty J here.
So we're gonna get into how we learned to communicate like lunatics when we were children.
Well, tin cans and string were the original FaceTime, but we had
Mhm.
trust issues with that one.
Right.
And then, of course, like, all my friends lived a pretty good distance, so I would be yelling, like, across the whole neighborhood. And, the girl across the street, Trisha, I'd be "Trisha!" And somehow she could hear me. I don't know how, but she always heard me, and then I hated calling people's house because it felt like I was scared that they were gonna have their parents answer the phone.
I don't What were you doing? Were you, like, trying to get nuclear codes?
Yeah, it was like calling the Pentagon. I don't know. No, it just think I was just scared. Well, I had this, long distance cousin, Kelly. I called him
Mhm.
one time, and I just blanked, and I was like, "Hey, is, what's his face there?" And his mom's like, "Julie, seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like so I would just get, like, anxiety and wanna hang up, so
That's
yeah.
so funny. That's so weird. I never felt like that. I would just call and say, is so whoever I was calling is are they there? And I never was worried about their parent answering. I don't
Really?
it didn't even occur to me because I was like, well, they know that they were friends. They know that she has friends and I'm just calling and they would just say, "Oh yeah, hang on a second," and then they
I
go
think
get them. That was
everybody
the end of it.
I think everybody thinks I'm really extroverted because 'cause I'm just kind of a smartass, but that's a coping mechanism. Like, I am highly introverted and anxious, and I think my sarcasm is just to mask that.
Well, then
So
how do we do this? Because you and I are both highly introverted and sarcastic, but I get the same thing where they can't believe that I'm an introvert because, I go on stage and I'm like, "Well, that's a different person. That's an entirely different personality that has to go on stage and perform." And we performed at the Whiskey, and 2 of my friends were there to watch, and I came off the stage and everybody was people were trying to talk to me, and I was like, like, panic, and my one friend grabbed me and took me to the bar to get me a double vodka, and I was like, "Oh, this is so much better." Like, as soon as I came off stage, I just shut down. It's so weird. I'm the same
I
way. It's just that's who we are. So, I guess I can get that you were I don't think I was like that when I was a kid maybe, or for that particular doing that particular activity. I don't know. It's very weird. You and I are both extremely introverted, yet we're so obnoxious.
I always thought I wanted to be an actress, and maybe part of that is just being brave because you are being somebody else, and with
Yeah.
the podcast, it feels like I'm just sitting here talking to you, and so if
Well, you
this
are.
gets thousands of streams, then my anxiety is like, "Oh god, what did I say?" Because we don't edit much. It's mostly, like, take out a couple of ums and try to make the sound match up, and that's about it, so
Yeah.
people are getting what they get, and they're probably scratching their heads a little bit, and that's
No, it's just
quite
us.
okay.
It's just us talking, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't come
Yeah.
across as anything. It shouldn't come across as 2 idiots with 2 cans and a string between them trying to, "Hello?"
Well, it also like, when I would talk to my friends, I wouldn't want my parents to hear, And originally, the phone was just in the living room. It had that long twisty cord, and that thing was, like, pulled straight because I was always trying to, like, duck around the corner or in the pantry or somewhere where people
I
couldn't hear
would
me talk about, like, "Do you wanna go to the New Kids on the Block concert?
our
Joey's so hot." I didn't want my mom and dad hearing that.
ours
So,
was in the
you know
kitchen, and I had the same thing. I had to, like, take it past the refrigerator into the dining room, and then the cord would go between the top and the freezer and the fridge part, and so anybody trying to get into the refrigerator would have to get through the cord. It was but it is, you're like, "I'm hiding in here so nobody can hear me talking because I have to say things that are nobody's business, and all you're doing is talking about, 'When do you wanna get together? When can you play? Do you wanna go to this concert? So and so's hot.'" Like, who cares? You're like,
yeah, and
you
then
look back now and you realize how little your parents cared about that shit.
I thought my dad never listened, but then if I was trying to hide something from him, he was, like, FBI level. He knew everything I fucking said, like, everything. "What do you mean y'all are going to a party? How did you hear that?" And also, I think sometimes he would pick up the phone the same time as me when people would call because we had more than
Uh-huh.
one phone in the house, and freaking
Yeah.
listen because he knew shit he shouldn't have heard.
I mean,
So,
it's possible. We had 2. We had one in my parents' bedroom and one in the kitchen. That was it. I never had a phone in my room until I was 18, and then
oh, wow.
I got it myself. We didn't have phones in our rooms. No, if you wanna talk on the phone, you were doing it downstairs. I mean, if I was upstairs, I'd be in my parents' bedroom talking on the phone, but without them in it, it
I
was during the day, but we didn't have phones in our room. I remember I had a friend my friend lived down the street from me, and they had the children's line. It was
oh.
listed in the phone book. It would have their last name, and then underneath it, it would say children's residence underneath it. They had a children's line down in the basement just for them, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, "You have your own phone number down in the basement? That's so cool."
Yeah, I started out I begged my dad and told him I wanted a phone in my room, and he had my little ass crawl through the attic with all the fiberglass to run that cord,
Yeah, you
and
want a phone in your room, you're gonna do the work.
it was hot, it was in Florida, it was probably July, who knows? I think it was for my birthday, he gave me the phone, and it started out with this Garfield phone, and I looked them up because they have them on eBay, and they're ridiculous price now, like, some of them are 400 bucks. I was like,
You're
"Damn, I
kidding.
shoulda kept that phone." No! No, I guess everybody else had the Garfield phone too, and
Wow.
then
I
when I
Wow.
grew out of that, I got, like, a phone that apparently everybody also had. It was clear, and it had, like, all these different color mechanisms in it,
Did
and
you have the
I'll never
neon
for
tube?
I don't know if it had a light in it or not. I can remember what the phone looks like because I had this experience. The phone was ringing, and I ran in my room. I had just got that new phone, and I jumped on my bed and went to go answer the phone at the same time and hit myself in the eye and gave myself the worst black eye. It was like it was like I hit the mattress and bounced, and the phone just, like, dotted my eye. So, I had to explain that one, and in hindsight, I shoulda made up a better story, but going to school, like, yeah, I was answering my phone.
I
Yeah.
was
So
answering my phone.
every time I see those phones
I remember the clear phones with the neon tube through 'em. We used to sell those at Spencer's. I remember that because I was like, "I want one of those phones," and they were like $200 back then.
oh,
I never
shit.
had
Yeah,
one.
no,
I had a state your standard issue phone, your standard issue touch tone phone when I finally got a phone that I bought for myself for my room. Yeah.
yeah, I know it must not have been that then because I wore Walmart clothes till I was, like, 13. I know my parents weren't gonna buy me some expensive ass phone. You know? I can remember begging, "Please let me get the Guess jeans, everybody has them." So, alright, I digress, we gotta get back to phones here. So, I do remember whenever it came up with, like, you could dial star 69 and find out who called you and hung up because people would
Yeah.
do that all the time. Like, you
Uh-huh.
"Hello," click, and, uh, and then star 67 was like, you could call them and they didn't know who the hell was calling.
So
So, there was no fear.
they still have that well, they did, I don't know if it still does. They had a feature, this is probably 2009, 2010-ish on cell phones, it was called Slide Dial, and I had it on
Oh,
my phone. I had it on my phone, so because I was also doing work for, a nonprofit, and I had to make phone calls from my phone, and that was my personal phone number, and I did not want them to have my personal phone number when I was calling, and it was called slide dial, and you dial slide dial first. You'd listen to an ad for, like, 30 seconds, and then they'd ask you to type in the number, you type in the number, and then it would connect the call, and it would be completely your number. It would just have a fake number up there. I don't know if that still exists, but that's today's star 67. It's called slide dial.
well, now they have, like, apps where you can just change your whole number, so
Yeah,
it's the
so
same
same
principle, I'm
thing, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, same thing.
But, back then, I remember, like, all of us girls, we'd call our crush and then hang up like we were little emotional terrorists, like,
Yeah.
yeah, click. Yeah. And then I have to admit, I think I talked about in the episode, but my friend Kelly and I would prank people, and I loved prank calling people. I probably did that to a lot of people in Crawfordville,
Yeah.
Florida and Tallahassee, Florida, sorry. But, it was the whole, "Is this the lollipop factory? No, you sound like a sucker to me." Or I remember my mom laughing and teaching me, like, "Is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it." And it was like the dumbest shit ever, but it was fun. I don't know.
We used to do my brother and I would answer with funny business names. Like, I remember my brother did he did, like, S Smith's Morgue, you stab 'em, we slab 'em. I was like, "That's cool, I'm gonna write that down, I gotta remember that to answer the phone that way."
Burger King, home of the Whopper. What's the beef? Yeah, we did that too.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
mean
the answering machines were cassette tapes,
yes.
and we would make up our own, so we would play, like, rap music and then rap to it, or there was this one gym one I did all the time where we were like, "I'm Hans, and I'm Franz, and we're here to pump you up." I don't know if you remember that, but,
I do, of course I do,
um
yes.
and then my favorite one ever had, like, Revenge of the Nerds playing in the background, so I think I was always creative because I definitely had some crazy answer machine messages.
Yeah. We didn't have an answering machine when I was growing up. My parents never got one. My dad had one for work because my dad worked out of the house, so he had one in his office because he needed one for work, but we never had one. If you were calling us and we weren't home, fuck you. We never nope. You don't get to leave a message. Just get bent. No messages being left. Or when you're a teenager and you're like, "I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of phone calls." My parents were like, "You're not that popular. Calm the fuck down."
I can remember my parents would drop me off somewhere, and I wouldn't have money, and I'd go to the payphone, and
Yeah.
I'd say, "Hey, I need to make a collect call to my parents." And so they would connect me, and it'd be like, "Hey, mom, I'm at the movie theater, ready to pick me up, please, thanks, bye." Like,
That's the we had a baby, it's a boy.
yeah. "You
Yeah.
have a collect call from pick me up from the skating ring now."
Today's kids will never know what it's like to go to a mall, go past a bank of payphones, and check for quarters, check for the change in each thing.
Oh, in high school, somebody taught me a code that you could put in the payphone and quarters would drop out. I'm sure this is some federal crime, so I might or might not have actually done it to pay for lunch a couple days. But but yeah, that see, I was not probably the best kid, but
I was only taught how to get your hand up in the vending machines to get a free soda or a free snack because I have really skinny wrists and little hands, so, like, when I was when I was younger, I could just do that, and it'd be like, "Boom, Coke." Like, we did an
that's
escape room here several years ago, and one of the room that we were doing was you had to start out in handcuffs, and before the duty in the left, I was already out of the handcuffs, and my friends were like, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, "Oh, they just slipped over my hands."
oh goodness. Yeah, and then after the payphones, well, I guess it was still during the payphones, my dad owned a tow truck service and I would work for him a lot, so he bought me a pager. And I was like
Ooh, you
16.
fancy.
I thought I looked like a drug dealer or something, and no, I wasn't.
Oh, yeah, you totally
Um,
did. Or a whore.
but it ended up really backfiring because I thought, "This is so cool, I'm so independent, this is so badass." And my beeper would go off, I'd cross over 3 lanes of traffic, call my dad back, like, "Hey, what's the emergency?" "Hey, will you pick up a gallon of milk?" Like, he got me all the time. "Will you buy some bread?" So, I would tell him, "Oh, I didn't get your page," and just drive straight home as quick as I could, trying to avoid spending my own money on
I didn't
bread.
get it. I didn't get the pager must be broken, I didn't get it.
Yeah, so then I really got smart because 'cause he'd say, "Let me check your pager." And so I kept a dead battery in my glove box, so whenever he'd page me, I'd pop the dead battery in and be like, "Look, dad, it's broken." And the poor people at the beeper place probably
My
checked my beeper out like 50 times because my dad kept taking it in. "She's just not getting my pages." And, yeah, I'm sorry for that too, but I was going broke, spending my own little Hungry Howie's paycheck money on bread and milk for my dad, like, every other day, so
Wait, they weren't reimbursing you? No, because see, that's a
no!
hard no. If you're not gonna pay me back, like, no, I'm not getting bread and milk. I'll get it, but
Yeah,
you
so
need to give me the money.
yeah,
Like, when
no,
I
he
got
was
my
not paying me
license,
back.
my mom would always do the "I'll buy if you fly," and I was like, "Cool, I get to drive because my mom had a sports car, so it's like, "Yeah, I'll go."
Yeah, and then when I was, like, 16 or 17, he got me a bag phone because again, I worked at the tow truck service for him, so,
Yeah.
um, it was like I don't wanna say, like, backpack, but, like, the lunchbox size or whatever, and it would sit in my
Mhm.
passenger seat for me to answer, and
I
then
had a
it
bag
got to
phone.
be Oh, you did too?
I didn't I
And
got a bag phone when I was, like it was, like, 1995, and
yeah.
it was so big and heavy. But it lived
Yeah,
in
it
my truck, I
was.
never took it out. I never took it out of my truck, but I was like, "I'm fancy, I have a phone. I have a phone in my truck, I can call people."
My
What who the
bag
hell was I calling?
phone. I and then I
It was
remember
more
those
for
little Nokias.
emergencies. Yeah.
Those Nokias, like, you could, like, wash them in the washer machine, blow them up, run over them. They're still probably completely intact, every single one of them. Like, I wish phones today were that indestructible. It was
I don't
crazy.
I don't even know when I got my first like, after the bag phone, I got my actual first cell phone. Like, the cell phone I have now, I bought I got it in 2020. I still have it. I m I am not really hard on my cell phones, and I take really good care of them. And I don't need to have a new one every 2 years, but Eric goes through them like clockwork. Like, I used to upgrade when he would upgrade his just because I was like, "Well, if you're gonna go, I'll go ahead and upgrade mine because his gets destroyed in the garage, he's run over he the first this he got one this year, this no, last year. He he got a brand new phone, left it on the roof of his car, and then ran over it the same
Oh, shit.
day. But
I
the
did
cell
that where
phone
I
store down the
dropped
street did
one.
the cell phone store down the street did fix it, but he's really, really hard all that to say he's really, really hard on his cell phone, so I'm not getting a new cell phone until I literally cannot use this one anymore because I don't see a reason it's fine, it works just fine.
Do you have a Apple or Android?
I'm an Android. I cannot stand Apple
Oh,
products.
those are the most stubborn people ever.
Yeah,
You and my
well,
cousin Amanda. Y'all
it's
are
the
the
same
only ones
way.
still with Android.
No, it's the same way. If you have an Apple phone, you hate Androids. If you have an Android, you hate Apples. Like, my mom has an
I just
iPhone,
think you get
and my
used to
brother
it.
has an iPhone, and my dad and I both have Androids, and my mom is constantly calling me, asking me if she's being hacked on her iPhone, and I'm like, "I don't know. 100% of the time, those messages are garbage. You need to delete them." And she's like, "Well, how do I make" I'm like, "I don't know because I don't have an iPhone. If you had an Android, I could tell you how to do that, but I don't. Call my brother because he's the one with the iPhone."
Did
And we just we don't use Apple products, we don't have them, and whenever I am with my parents and I have to do something with my mom's phone, I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Why is everything just shaking at me? I don't like it. Where's your back button?" Like,
Hey,
I sound like an old lady.
I don't know if this is because I grew up in the country, but did you use a CB radio before you had the bag phone and stuff?
I did not, but my dad had one. We talked about it a little
Oh,
bit,
yeah,
I
I
think, in
had
the
one.
first episode, yeah, my dad had one.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah,
personally
we
had
did talk
one?
about it. Yeah, yeah, I had this truck, we called it Ace Bound. Ace was the junkyard, and,
Yeah.
and it had a CB radio in it, so, you'd get on there, "Breaker, breaker 19, this is Rosebud," and and
Yes, your CB handle, I remember that.
oh, yeah, and so I watched this movie, I think I was in high school, and it was like, a truck driver was chasing these people in a car, and she said her handle was Candy Cane, and so on the movie, he was like, "Candy cane." candy cane and, like, following them, trying to kill them. And since then, I hate CB radios. Like,
Oh my god, no,
yeah,
that's terrible.
I feel like a truck driver will come get me, so I don't talk on them anymore, but it was
Yeah,
fun
that's it's fun
until
until it
that
isn't,
movie.
right? It's just
Yeah.
so the CB radio, it was the original chat room.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And then, with the cell phones, I remember I'd get in trouble because it only had a certain amount of minutes, and then
Uh-huh.
if you sent a text, I think it was either 10 or 25 cents per text to send it. So, now, like, I'll rapid fire, like, 5 texts. Like, I did that to my son the other day. "Why are the dishes not done? Why didn't you do the laundry?" Like, all
So very
individual texts.
yeah, very, very important texts.
Yeah,
All
but
very, very important.
back then, you have to sit there and scroll through each letter for 10 minutes to write out a
Yeah,
text that you better get all of the information in one go. Like, it was like,
yeah, and now I use swipe, and whenever I'm doing it, anybody who doesn't use swipe is like, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "You just swipe, like, that's how you can send a really fast message." I can't not use it.
yeah.
I can't not use swipe. Do you remember the days before call waiting when, you'd go to call somebody and the line would just you get that aggressive busy signal? It's
Yeah.
so aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and it would be, like, for hours. You'd be like, "Get off the fucking telephone!"
Kelly and I would call the operator and be like, "I need to make an emergency breakthrough, it's important."
I need you to
And
break
the
through.
operator would go into the line and say, "You have an emergency phone call from Julie, it's important."
And
And then
it's
I'd
just
get on
Julie,
there,
"What up?"
"What up, home slice? Cool beans.
"What up,
Like, what are you
whore?"
doing?" Those operators were probably like those fucking menaces. Yeah, yeah.
I don't think
It was
I never
crazy.
asked anybody to do that, but man, my anger would just it'd go up in increments every single time I tried to call and I'd get that damn busy signal. Oh, it's such an aggressive sound.
Oh, and this was before its time, but it was so funny. They had my cousin, she's deaf, and, they had this TYY relay system.
Mhm.
So, I would call a operator, and then an operator would type on a little machine to Melissa what I said, and then Melissa would type back, and they would verbally tell me what she typed. This was, like, before all the
Yeah.
texting. And so Melissa and I, we had this conversation and we were talking about one of the driver's babies and that it had a big wop head. It was a waterhead baby, just like its dad. Like we were talking shit about this baby. And then we're like, "Oh God, we can't talk about this baby because then we're gonna have babies with big ass water heads." This lady couldn't stop laughing trying to, like, tell me what Melissa was typing and then, like, listening to me. She had to give us to a different operator because she was, like, dying laughing. We went through 3 operators in one conversation. I mean, like, we were talking about how it looked like a big balloon or a
Oh my
popsicle on a
god.
stick, like, and this
And
poor
there's
lady,
and the lady had to type this?
yeah, and she was laughing so hard, she gave me to another operator, and then a 3rd operator had to take it over because they all couldn't stop laughing about this conversation. So, the TYY thing was absolutely hilarious, and Melissa and I, we were just crying laughing, and they could hear her reactions too, which were probably like, like she's deaf. She is the most beautiful, cutest thing. But they were dying. Yeah. So, it took 3 operators on one conversation because yeah. So, there's that. This was in Tallahassee, Florida, so if this operator is on, I hope she joins our thing because she will definitely remember us, that's all I can say.
Oh my god.
And that
Oh,
baby's head
your
was
cousin laughing.
ginormous.
Oh my god, that fucking took me out.
She was so funny. She would, like I would yell at her in sign language, and she'd, like, cover her eyes, and I was like,
"I can't
"Fuck!"
hear you."
Yeah, she's awesome. Alright, back to phones. We could do a whole episode on Melissa. Oh
Oh,
gosh,
holy
okay.
shit.
So then I remember I got a BlackBerry because that was, like, easier to text because it had, like, a little keyboard, and then,
Yeah.
I worked, so I wore, like, these little Charlotte Russe outfits with, like, the
Aw.
little wedges, and I had my little BlackBerry, and I thought I looked like I was, like,
I
in
had my
corporate,
I had
like
my BlackBerry, I was the shit. That's right, I was very important, and I looked cute while I was being important.
So, back then, like, when you texted, or even when you called people, you weren't as readily available. So, sometimes it'd be days before you got a response. And I
As
think
and it
just
still should be like that, but now we're like, you send a text message and you're like, "How come you didn't respond in 3 nanoseconds? What the hell?"
my daughter does that to me all the time.
We're so conditioned that everybody should just be, you should just respond to me, and, there are a lot of times, like, I keep my phone on silent, it's on vibrate all the time now. I got so annoyed with just having it on sound, I just got tired of it, so it's been on vibrate for, like, a year, and I keep it I sometimes it's not even in the same room with me, and it goes on do not disturb at 10 o'clock at night automatically, it's just how I have it set. So,
Yeah.
it's always funny when somebody's like, "Well, I'm not gonna text you in the middle of the night because it'll bother you." I'm like, "No, it won't, I won't hear it because my phone's on do not disturb. The only way I would hear it is if I have your number on override, and I don't have your number on override because ain't nothing you're gonna need to text me in the middle of the night, it's gonna be an emergency." So, I it's just I have to remember that years ago, I wasn't readily available at all times, and I have to remember I don't need to be readily available at all times now.
Yeah. I mean, communication used to be like a lot of effort to try to reach people. And
Yeah,
then it got pretty convenient. And then it just turned into like this expectation that is just, it makes people anxious and like they always have to be reached within 2 seconds, and
mhm.
they carry their phones around. I'm guilty of it too. Mine's sitting right beside me right now,
Yeah, mine
but,
is too.
yeah, but
I mean,
it's like a
mine is
pacifier.
it's always near me. Like, if I'm, in here, it's next to me. If I'm in the kitchen, it's not near me because I'm usually streaming something on YouTube while I'm cooking. I'm usually streaming MST3K while I'm cooking, so it's not in the kitchen. It'll be in the living
Yeah,
room, but I might go outside to do something, and if I'm outside working, I'm not even paying attention to it. It'll be I'll leave it on the I'll leave it on the screen and porch, and I won't touch it for hours, and then by the time I look at it, I'm like, "Oh, there's 15 messages in here. Okay." But it's we are conditioned to be readily available at all times, and
yeah, and
it's the same with work. When I used to have to carry a cell phone for work or, my last company, I just kept my email on my personal cell phone and I got paid a stipend for it. But it's very much "Well, you've got it, so you're readily available. You're available to us 24/7." No, the fuck I am.
yeah, no. If I'm not on the pay, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
available.
I don't get
Yeah,
paid 24/7. That ain't how this works.
I remember it evolved too from, like, the phones and texts to the AOL chat rooms.
Mhm.
And that was actually so fun to me. I remember just, like, the dial-up sound and the and I don't even
The
remember what my
noise.
handle would have been. Yeah, and
That
then, like,
noise.
sometimes you didn't know who you were talking to, like, they'd say ASL, and it was, like, age, sex, location, and you'd just be trying to find somebody about your age in your area, which is probably, honestly, the first start of, like, internet predators, because
Yeah. I
you
I
you
imagine
can't see
it
them.
was. I didn't do I was never in chat. I never I by the
Oh,
time
you didn't?
No, because by the time those kinda rolled out, I was, God, almost 30, I think? Yeah, I was almost 30, so I just
No.
yeah, I was close to
Really?
30. Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe that's just
I
when
just
that's how by the
remember
time I but maybe that's just by the time I finally got a computer. I think I got my first computer in 1999, so yeah, I was almost 30, and they just didn't have an interest to me. I didn't even think about it, and I created a discussion, like a forum board in like 2003, 2004 for like a hobby that I did. And I had a whole bunch of people, and I even had like a product for it that if you became a member at this level, then you got that it was, you got special perks on the forum, and you got this book that I'd put together. And then the forum slowly faded out. So when it was getting to be a job for me. I was like, I can't, this is not my job. It's just supposed to be a forum for people to have fun. So I did that, but I was never part of chat rooms, so I don't really know. I know what they are, but I was never
Yeah.
in any of them. But yeah, I know what they
Oh,
are.
I love them.
I've seen To Catch a Predator.
Oh, I followed somebody on Instagram recently that's like, vigilante bringing that back. It was crazy. I'll have to find it and post them on the website because I fully support it. I wish they wouldn't have stopped To Catch a Predator. Maybe we
I
should do
know.
an episode about that because that's cool. We
Sit
need to protect
sit
these
down.
babies.
Sit down, have a cookie. I made it myself.
Talking about how things get easier too, back then, I could remember all these phone numbers, and I still remember my parents are deceased. I still remember their old phone number, and I can't tell you my son or daughter's phone number. It's just programmed in my phone, and that's
Uh,
sad. Like,
yeah, I remember 1, 2 I remember 3 of my phone numbers growing up. Um, I remember 2 of my locker combinations from high school. And the only phone
yeah.
number that I have memorized besides my own is Eric's. If you said, "What's your mom's phone number right now?" I'd be like, I could give you the area code, that's it." And
My
you're
mom
right,
would tell everybody.
we lost that skill. We lost
Yeah,
it's just gone.
kinda like spell check. Like,
Yeah.
it's ruined my spelling because it just corrects it for me. But, yeah, my mom, she would repeat our number and she would say, "It's 0079. It's like James Bond is a 9." And that's how she would tell people to remember our phone number. So so I also think of James Bond every time I think of our damn phone number.
It's
So,
so weird what we can remember, but, I mean, we knew all of our friends' phone numbers. We
oh,
knew
yeah.
long
Oh,
distance
yeah.
phone numbers. And remember calling long distance was like Russian roulette.
Oh,
You remember when all
yeah.
those long distance commercials come out? It was like, "Dial 10 10 3 2 1." I'm like, "What? I gotta what? How many numbers do I gotta dial to dial long distance?" Like, long distance cost money, and I remember having a calling card to call long distance if I was traveling and I needed to call my parents, I needed to call home, like, I had a calling card I had to use, like, God,
Or I
remember long
remember
distance
it
was
would be
expensive.
free after 9 o'clock sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I remember it went through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Times have definitely changed.
long distance was a hu "You better not be calling, well, you better not be talking to anybody long distance."
They used to just dial numbers without the area code. I remember getting pissed off when I had to remember 3 more numbers.
Yeah,
Like, I can
I don't
remember we
like
didn't have the
now
area code.
that now even to call somebody locally, I have to dial the area code. I hate
Yeah,
that.
it makes no sense.
I
Yeah.
hate that. I'm like, "No, no, this is a local call." "Yeah, you still need the area code." Son of a bitch. This is what we've become?
Another problem I had, though, back then is my mom's voice sounded so much like me. So, if
Mhm.
she answered the phone, people would start talking to her like it was me. And
Yeah.
I remember
Me and my mom are
I
the
had this
same.
one friend. My mom was like, she had the biggest crush on my friend, and I didn't wanna date him. He had dated a couple friends of mine, so, it was kinda off limits because I just it wasn't gonna happen, but my mom was, like, in love with dude. So he called and sang one time, like, a Jodeci song,
Uh-huh.
and my mom just sat there listening to him sing the whole song, and then she was, like, giddy. She was like, "Julie, it's for you." Like, "I'm gonna kill you, mom." Yeah, she let him sing the whole entire song, and
I
then
would've.
he
That's
oh,
gold.
yeah,
That's gold right there. I would've. Yeah.
my mom was like, he helped me mow the lawn one time, and she took sweet tea out there, like, 3 times. I'm like, "Mama, where's my tea?" Oh, like, she just wanted to go see him, so when he
That's so
called
funny. I had my mom and I sound very, very much alike, and my dad had a friend and a colleague that he worked with, and every single time he would call, he could never tell the difference between the 2 of us, and I always knew that it was him because when I would answer, it would be just silence for, like, 30 seconds, and then he would go, "Rosalie," and I would go, "Ha! Nope." He's like, "I'm always
That's
wrong, I always
hilarious.
get it wrong." He never when he would get it right, it would be a miracle. He would be so happy, he'd be so proud of himself they got it right. My mom and I sound so much alike, he never got us right. And
So
I
you
felt
understand
bad.
the
I always felt bad for him because I was like, "Oh, I feel bad every single time he calls, he never knows which one of us is answering the phone," and I feel like we're ramping up his anxiety when he calls our number to be like, "I don't know which one's gonna answer, I don't know which one it's gonna be. Why can't you just answer the phone all the time?"
see, he felt like I did when he called,
Yeah, it was
and
and it was weird, it was only him, and I always felt bad, and I always really liked him, and it's really sad because he actually got diagnosed with ALS and died several years ago, but I that's what I remembered about him is that he was such a nice man, it was so fun, I had to answer the phone, and I always knew when it was him because that phone would be just nothing on the other end while he was trying to determine which
process
one of
it.
us it was gonna be.
I don't know why I still remember this so much too, but I remember being either an adult or just an adult, and I called the library to ask a question, and the lady was like, "Do you need the children's section, honey?" And I'm like, "No, bitch, I'm an adult."
I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with your voice sounding young. Sometimes I don't think my voice sounds as old as it is, and I get that in business every now and then. I was talking to an attorney years ago, and he was being an asshole. He was, like, in his 70s, and I was, well into my I was 50 at the time, and he was being a dick, and I was like I had to interrupt him, and I was like, "I'm sorry, how old do you think I am? I'm not a child. I have 30 years of 30 plus years of work experience. I'm not a moron. Please stop speaking down to me like I'm a child." I was so pissed. He was such a pompous dick, but he thought I was like 20. Don't feel bad that you have a young sounding voice, is basically what I'm trying to say. Unless somebody's being a condescending dick, then tell them to fuck off.
Well, now it's funny because when I edit these episodes, I'm like, "Is that what my voice really sounds like? Because it sounds different to me." So it's almost like I'm editing a conversation between 2 other people, but I know what they're about to say, if
I've
that makes
gotten
sense.
used to it. I edited 3 in a row, and by the 3rd one, I was numb to it. I'm like, "Yeah, that's just my voice. That's how I sound." Like, I've gotten more
Yeah.
comfortable with it, and I feel that way on recordings too of music. I'm like, "Oh god, is that how I sound?"
I
Like,
sound like
that's
fluent cornbread.
I'm like, "That's how my voice sounds when I'm singing?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, it sounds great. What the hell?" I'm like, "It sounds so weird to me." Like, I I'm just now getting comfortable listening to my own track comes up in Spotify or my playlist. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's me." Like, I'm just now getting used to my voice
That's what
sounding that
people
way,
have
but
heard on the phone for years.
I
Yeah.
know, that's the thing. I'm like, "Oh god, is that how I really sound?" And so that one Saturday where I edited 3 in a row, the first one, I was like, "Oh god, this is so cringy," and then by the 3rd one, I'm like, that's how I sound."
Yeah. It is what it
And
is.
I
I
pick up a slight accent here and there on my voice, which I did not know I had until I started listening to when I was editing, and I'm like, "Holy shit, I have an where did that come from?"
Oh, no, I
Because
know I sound straight up like Forrest Gump.
I have a Jersey accent, but only when I'm saying certain things or only when I'm really, really pissed off. Like, certain words, for sure, but it also comes out when I'm really, really angry. But I've noticed that there's a southerny twang in some of my words, and I think that's because 'cause I've lived in Kansas City for so long that I've picked up this Eric has a bit of a little bit of a Missouri accent because he lived here his entire life, and I think I've picked that up.
Oh, goodness.
I know,
I grew up
I
in
don't think I have one, and then I was listening to it on edit, I'm like, "Son of a bitch."
I grew up in Tallahassee, which is considered like North Florida, South Georgia, and the higher you get in Florida, the more country you are. It just is like that. And then I moved to Texas for a little while, and girl, I came back like "How are y'all doing?" So, I can't help it. It is what it is, but
That's
alright,
hilarious.
well, this was actually a fun episode, and I had forgot about the whole relay service, but that was so fun, and,
That's just,
yeah.
clean out the tin make sure the tin cans are really clean so I can use them for my phone. That was the only
Yeah.
requirement. I need 2 big tin cans, make sure they're really clean, take the labels off so I can write on them or whatever I wanna put on them. But, I mean, that's how we started communicating, and now I don't use my thumbs, I use this finger actually when I'm communicating. I'm usually
Your
using
middle
my middle
finger?
finger.
That's what you text with?
I swipe and I use my middle f I can't use my thumbs. It does not
Be like,
because I
"Here, will you
swipe,
pick up
I
some
use
fucking bread?" With your
yeah,
middle
because I
finger.
use swipe, so it literally so here's my phone, and then this is how I yeah, with my middle finger. I can't every time I watch somebody with their use their thumbs, I'm like, "That's amazing." Like, my thumbs do not function in a typing context because I am a swiper, and so I only use my middle finger to swipe words. That's why I text so
I
fast is because I'm swiping, I'm not physically typing.
I talk text all the time, and I'm sure people read it and probably think I'm illiterate, but it's just Siri can't fucking spell.
What are you,
Yeah.
stupid?
Yeah, like, when you try to say "fuck," it always puts "duck," and I'm like, "When do you want to say duck?" Yeah.
So, I recently switched keyboards on my phone, and part of the setup on the I think I switched it over to a Google keyboard. It was, hide hide, foul language or something, hide offensive words, and I was like, "Fuck no, do not hide offensive words because that is how I speak." So, when I type a word that is a bad word, it types it, and if I talk text it, it does it because I told it,
I
don't
think
you hide
mine knows
offensive words,
now.
that's how I speak."
That's our whole generation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. That's how we speak,
Alright.
and we understand each other, but somehow we understand each other less because there's more communication, but there's less communication.
We need less Facebook and more FaceTime and,
Yeah.
like, talking to each other because when you text, you lose the tone behind it, so there's so many more misunderstandings. It's like playing that
Yeah.
game of telephone where I'm like, "Hey, tell Jen she's pretty," and then somehow it changes to, "She's" you know, what's another word? Like, they just it changes.
Did you say I was petty?
It goes yeah.
Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, okay, that's true. That's fine. That's okay.
That's how rumors get started.
Yeah, yeah. But you're right. That's
Yeah.
exactly yeah, you text somebody and they don't know they don't we don't have a sarcasm font, but most of my friends understand. I
Yeah.
read things the way my friends type them like, when you send me something, I'm
In their
like, I read
voice.
that. I read that in your voice and your inflection, and I know exactly what you're saying, and I don't take that any other way than how I know you're saying it. And I feel if you don't know somebody, then it's best to keep your text very light and very you don't know me, you don't know I'm being sarcastic, you don't know I'm joking, you don't know this, you don't know these slang words. Like I have slang spellings of words in my phone so that when I'm talking to my friend about tacos, it always comes across as tacos. 'Cause because it's a Jim Gaffigan bit, and so we make fun of that's how we say that, and it's, "Now what are tacos?" And so when we're saying tacos, that's how I have it in my phone, so when I type that, that's how it comes across.
When you talk to your parents and stuff, do you use abbreviations on text?
I do, they are slowly learning what they are. They said, "Thank you" on one, and I put YW with an exclamation point, and they were like, "What's that?" I'm like, "You're welcome." Like
Yeah.
I years ago when I first moved here, for the company that I was working for, I was talking to one of our sales reps out in LA, and he was asking for an explanation of something he didn't understand it, and I explained it, and then I put HTH at the bottom of it, and he didn't know what HTH was, and he was like, "What does that stand for?" And he gave me like a whole bunch, and then his last one was "hate those hamburgers," and so I'm like, "Yes, HTH stands for hate those hamburgers." So now whenever I see HTH, I'm like, "Hate those hamburgers."
Yeah, I had my mom text me one time that somebody had passed away and put LOL,
Oh my
and
god.
she and she thought it meant lots of love. Yeah.
I mean, if it was Betty Davis talking about Joan Crawford, then yeah, LOL suffices. That stands, but I don't feel like it was.
Like, "Mom,
So
what?"
and so passed away. LOL.
Yeah. Yep. Ooh. Yeah. Kind of
Oh, that's
explains a
great.
lot about me, right? Alright,
Well,
well,
that's us trying to teach them. I'm still teaching my parents what abbreviations and how to use them. So it's always a work in progress. I told my mom the other day, I was talking on the phone, I'm like, "Never stop learning stuff." I said, "You have to continue to learn stuff because she got a new app that she needs to use, and I said, "You need to use that every day so you never forget how to use it." "I will," and so I'm like, "Okay, go do this right now," and she was trying to tell me that she was using it, and I'm like, "I know you're not using it." So, like, I know you're not. So, I said, you have to never stop learning. Doesn't matter how old you are, never stop learning."
just like that, I think we're gonna hang up here. Um,
We are.
oh, by the way, I do miss how we could hang up on people and, like, slam
Yeah,
the phone down
slam
with
the phone.
force.
There's none of that now.
I wanna go back to a time where we don't always have, like, those read receipts or we have to answer the phone immediately before people
Yeah,
freak out. Silence didn't mean drama back then like it does now, so
yeah.
I do miss. Yeah. Although it is kinda funny when you say something where you know somebody's mad and the text bubbles pop up and then disappear
And
and
then
pop
they
up and
disappeared,
disappear, like,
you're like, "Huh, huh."
yeah, I'm, like, speechless. I won. Get a
Sometimes
voicemail.
it's not an I'm mad thing, it's a, "Oh, wait, I my train of thought gets interrupted," and I'm like, "No, I need to say this first." So, sometimes it's just in regular conversation, but yes, it's you're right, it's the exact I know we're having a text fight.
Yeah, and then, if we didn't answer our phone, it was a mystery, like, people didn't know where we were, and we were off
No.
the grid living our best life, so,
Yeah,
um, yeah, until the street lights came on, right?
until
And
the
then we were
streetlights came
answering
on.
our phone. Yeah. Alright, well, until next time, thank you for listening, invite your friends. Please keep coming back because it's fun, and
Yeah.
message us if you have really good ideas, and we would be happy to talk about them.
Yeah, join the Facebook group for fun stuff, and where we discuss episodes and we post memes of our generation and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And be sure that if you are listening on an app where you can rate the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating. We don't need it for, you know, the applause. We just want to be able to move up in the algorithm and be a suggested podcast for others. It just helps spread our podcast around a bit.
Spread our love. Oh, Lord, I always
Well,
say
on
the
that
wrong
note,
thing. Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.